Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. Good morning. By the time you guys hear this episode, it will be Wednesday because my episodes are not going out on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and that's it because I'll be living under a rock for the next couple months, and I can't produce a podcast 3 days a week. So just a quick programming note on that. And so today I have Aurora with me, and I'm going to let Aurora take it away and share a little bit about what she does, and then I'll be asking her baseline questions along the way. Aurora, would you please explain to my fans what you do?
Currently, I am a counselor. I've had the experience to work with different populations, from disability to mental health to drug and alcohol addiction to foster care to adoption. And currently, I'm a counselor at a male maximum prison. And
oh my God, woman of many hats, my God. But I can work in the prison system, my God. So what has been the biggest challenge working in the prison system?
I think what I see is, like I said, I work at male max prison. To me, the lack of resources, mostly in regards to me, I look at it as it's a place for correction, but the lack of knowledge of the resource to help them. I see a lot of people fall through the crack. You know, majority of the time is growing up or going through the system and not getting the help or the resource throughout their life, and just falling through the crack of the system and then getting stuck in the prison system. It just seems to be an ever-evolving cycle. And then the lack of resources out there. And I see the ripple effect from the victim to the predator to families, society. And a lot of people just shift blame on one point, but I look at it from a overall perspective that it's a ripple effect in everybody. So my saying when I facilitate classes is always been, are you the legacy or are you the generation that changes? So the future, your legacy will change as well. One less victim. You stop victimizing yourself, then the victimization stops from there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. If you stop victimizing yourself, the victimization stops from there. But
exactly,
when you work in the prison system, what can we do as a community to help within the prison system, or to help the wardens, or to help you within the prison system? Because a person can only do so much.
Yeah, and I really believe in the whole starfish analogy aspect. You know, everybody looks at the problem from a generalization and overall, and I always look at it, it starts with you. Before the prison system, I worked with Nevada's most troubled youth. So that's how I transferred to the prison system. I started with children. I worked with juvenile sex offenders or Nevada's most troubled youths that went to juvie, went to counseling, went to boot camp, went to, and I saw the ripple effect of that from the parents and stuff. And honestly, it's self-empowerment. I see a lot of people lost in this society and not having a strong foundation within themselves, and especially this generation. It's the lack of self-worth. So it's learning to really, when I look at it, it's self-empowerment. This society is so focused on the deficit or what we lack instead of looking at it from a strengths-based perspective and what strengths do you have, you know.
Yeah, what gifts and talents do you have?
Exactly, and society has a way of looking at it of we look at things from a negative perspective and then we work from there instead of looking at it from a strength perspective. And I use that foundation with every population or generation I work with. It doesn't matter if it's the system, if it's foster care, it's disability or mental illness or whatever it is. It's always, let's start with what are your strengths and let's work from there.
Yeah, let's work from there and then work on your first. Aurora, what is your favorite book? It doesn't have to be business related. It just has to be a book that you go back to time and time again.
To me, my favorite author, because he's written so much, is Mitch Albom. And one of my favorites is Tuesday with Maureen. It's a death and dying book, but it really shows the blessing of life, how this rush society, and it's looking at it from the backwards perspective of the tiny little blessings that we should look at instead of, you know, it's the journey of life instead of the ultimate goal. You know, it's a journey that makes us who we are. It's the journey that makes us reflect and helps us change to be a better person. So, Mitch Albom's Tuesday with Maury or 9 People I Meet in Heaven is not a religious book, but it really talks about life itself.
And so what has been your biggest achievement in all this, in all your work, working in the prison system and working with the disabled and working on mental health?
To me, my biggest achievement is I think just working in the career that I've had. I think is really just the whole empowerment thing is so many people I feel are broken from within, really lost the whole spirituality aspect of it. And to me, it's to see someone get empowered and learn to have a life. For example, I worked with disabled, and the thing is, from being so institutionalized and not feeling like they're worthy to live, then all of a sudden find their strength and, you know, beat the obstacles of society where society's told them they can't, you know, or they're not able to. And to see those statistics be broken over and over again and to be self-sufficient. And what I've always said is if everybody has a different normal, and instead of comparing yourself to others, it's living life based on your normal, what you can do for you. So it's someone who's totally dependent on the system, that's totally dependent or defined by their disease or their mental illness or their disability or society or their social economic, and be empowered to change that. And usually the people I work with have generations and generations of obstacles. And to change that around for them, to me, would probably be my biggest success. It's just the analogy of that starfish thing. You're not there to save the world, but if you can change one person, that makes a huge difference in this world.
Yeah, if you can change one person. And if people want to get a hold of you, how can they do that? And then I'm going to ask you, if you want to be educated by anyone inside or outside your field, who would it be and why? And then I'm going to let you ask me a couple questions about anything in life that you've been interested in asking me.
Okay. How did you get in touch with me? Well, I have a blog that I do on Facebook, and it's just like Ponderance. I think with the Rush Society, we don't stop and reflect enough, on the simple questions. So I do have a blog on Facebook. It's called Spiritual Essence at Mahal Cruz. I also have my website, which is www.spiritualessence.biz, or just Facebook. It's Mahal Cruz, Majalkruz. And that's how they can get a hold of me. Regarding the questions about you, how did you get into the whole podcast? What made you want to reach out to people?
Well, I wrote a book when I was 23 years old, and you guys, that book can be found on Amazon. It's I, Win, W-I-N, if you guys are interested. And so 2 weeks after the book came out, it hit number 1 on Amazon. And then I decided, because complete strangers were asking me, how do you do all this with cerebral palsy? And so I decided to not only answer their questions, but infuse my story with rock stories like you to give people a better understanding of life and give people a better understanding about cerebral palsy and all other physical and mental disabilities.
Okay, yeah, and that's why I see this, the lack of, the resource, because that's where, when I first graduated, I worked with disabled, and majority of the population I worked with had cerebral palsy, and it's just a lack of education. So I'm, thankful that you're spreading that out.
It's the lack of education, and what I've come to find out, you guys, and Laura knows this firsthand too, is that United Cerebral Palsy is our national resource center for cerebral palsy, but they're doing more and more research on cerebral palsy than they are awareness. And I've asked them over the years, do you guys want me to help and spread awareness? And they go, no, we don't want the awareness thing. We want the research thing. And now I haven't looked up the latest statistics on how much research they're doing. But God, it's like fitting a round peg into a square hole. If you don't do research and awareness combined, there's nothing to help. And I'm realizing that adults with cerebral palsy, once they leave high school, they have to find the resources on their own. So it's unbelievable lack of resources out there for adults with cerebral palsy or any disability.
Or even like support for family, respite or any of that needs to be a deficit as well.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with what Aurora just said. And so, I'm trying to break the stigma and turn that around.
That's interesting that you said that they don't want the awareness aspect to it, because with breast cancer and stuff like that, that just seems to be the big push. So why not advocate?
Why not?
That kind of thing. So how do you feel with your podcast and your help? How do you feel you contributed to the awareness of it?
Well, this podcast has been known to save lives. You guys heard the story of a podcaster a YouTuber who actually got saved by my podcast, and you guys can go back and listen to Ramsey Sweeney's episode, and he says at the beginning of the episode, before I asked him the best and questions. Your podcast has saved my life. So there we go. And for some weird reason, I have gotten 53,000 downloads of all time. I'm hoping for a little bit more. I'm hoping to reach that 700 downloads month per episode, but we're slowly but surely getting there. So I think I'm doing something right, at least I hope. And so I'm just trying to break the stigma and turn the stigma around of having cerebral palsy, and you guys don't have to be shut-ins, and you can have active lives, and you can have a podcast. And so that's what Aurora's doing with the jails. That's what Aurora was doing with the disabled. But I'm also trying to help people understand that they can have active lives and that they can be contributing members to society.
Yeah, breaking the whole stigma aspect. And that's one of the things I say. It's like either the disease defines you or you define it, and that's anything with life. You know, it's everything in life. It's either your circumstance is going to define you or you're going to define it. And that's what it's really all about. I don't have any other questions. Hello? Hello?
Sorry about that. Aurora, I muted my mic.
Yeah, I think I lost you. I'm like, hello.
I muted my mic. And so what would be your closing episode with, what would be your closing words in this episode if you have some?
My closing episode would probably be, I would just tell people, stop creating a blueprint that's based on society. Create a life script that's yours. Stop creating a normal based on what society, because we're so different. Create a normal that's yours. You're only in competition with self. And that's with anything, you know, with socioeconomic, with disability, with mental illness, or any disease or adversity in life, is create a life that's yours, because you're the author of your book. No one else is.
That's a wonderful statement. And we're all the authors of our books. I'm literally the author of my books. You guys know I have 8 books out. I'm slowly but surely working on my 9th and 10th. My 9th and 10th are actually coming out back to back. One's on mental illness. The other one is about me and where I am now. I'm supposed to get the proof back of that this week. And I have the cover already set up. So we'll see what happens. But Laura's right. You are the author of your life. So let's make this world a better place. And I thank Aurora for her time. And I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of Butterflies of Wisdom. And again, just remember, you guys, this podcast comes out on Wednesdays and Thursday mornings by 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you guys have it in your podcast players. And please subscribe. Please share it with a friend. And let's make this world a better place. This podcast has been sponsored by Grace by Grit. Grace by Grit is a clothing line out of California. They're giving you 20% off when you type in the code EXO Butterflies. And then you guys can find out more information in the show notes just by tapping on the cover artwork or swiping left. in Overcast, and then you can find more of Aurora's information and our sponsors, and let's go make it a great day. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.